Hi, I'm Joe from Leadership Society of Arizona, and I'm really excited to talk about an important topic for parents, which is how to help your children make big choices in their life. So, in order to emphasize this topic and the kind of idea I want to go through, I want to give you an example here. And this is a common example, so you might relate to it. You have a father and a son. The son seems to not be getting so good of grades. He's getting C's or D's. And so every time when he comes home, his dad talks to him and says, hey, you need to get it up. We need to work on it. So he tries to study, tells him to do his homework. Whenever he's playing video games, he's on him saying, hey, we need to get those grades up. And part of that, the father is trying to force the son to do all these different things. So, it comes to the point where the only thing that the father and son talk about is their school and homework. And so this deeply severs the relationship between the father and the son. And so what happened is the father, he needs to make this big decision. He said, okay, do I want to have a severed relationship with my son? Or do I want to kind of release that control and let my son get these bad grades and learn for himself? And so in order to salvage his relationship, he decides that he's going to do the latter, which is to try and lay off his grades and let his son kind of figure it out on his own. So the father actually had to put a rule on himself saying, hey, I'm not going to talk to you about school. I'm just going to support you, try and love you, do the things that I can. Well, the son, because his father did this, his son, he started to figure out, hey, I like playing video games, and he spends too much time doing that, and he ends up getting poor grades. And sooner or later, the son drops out of school. And this is really hard for the father to see his son go through this and that he's getting poor grades and dropping out of school. And he thought for a second that he made a really bad decision in, allowing his son to learn for himself. But that's not the end of the story. Well, the son ends up figuring this out. He ends up going to get his GED, studying, passing the exam, which is equivalent of a high school diploma. His relationship with his father is so much better because they talk about other things. He feels like he can talk to him more, and it's not just about school. His son ends up getting into coding, which he's really good at. He excels at it. And he ends up being so good at it that he owns his own company. And now he ends up making more money than his father does. And now sometimes his father goes to him and asks him for help and sees if his company can help him with some of the IT things related to his own company because he doesn't understand how to do it. So this is a pretty extreme story, but I hope it helps you to understand maybe what the problem can sometimes be, which is we think as parents we know what's best for our student, our child. We think we do. But in the end, we don't always know what's good. Our students are very different, and the time of age we live in is so different from what we've done that, we don't always know what's best. But it's okay. We don't need to know, right? That's not the goal for us to know everything. It's that we let our students, our children, be the ones to actually make the choices. We don't need to know everything because our students are going to determine their own life. And they're going to choose what they want to choose. And so as parents, we're there as more of guides and helping them. But sometimes we can be our own worst enemy because we think we know. And so we try and force our students to do something that is not aligned with who they are and what they want to do. And so we come to the question, how can I help my student make big choices in their life? Well, the simple answer is to not make the choices for them. At a young age, it's a baby. We understand, okay, they need food, these things. They can't make, quote, all these choices on their own. But as they grow older, it's easier to see, hey, to let them choose what they wear, the different things to help them to get good at making choices on their own. And I wanted to give you 3 points of advice to help in letting your children make the choices and making big choices. Number 1 is try not to force them to do anything. Any experienced parent knows as soon as you try and force a student to do something, you get an immediate reaction, which is either resistance, you get back talk, it's very painful. It's not something we all want to go through. So when you try and force someone to do anything, and this just doesn't even relate just to students, but anyone, just your spouse, anyone, you can feel that immediate reaction. It never goes as well as you want it to go. 2, listen. Sometimes it's just common sense, right? You try and listen to your children, see what they want. But sometimes when we listen, what they say kind of goes to the bottom of the list. Like, oh, okay, that doesn't really matter. This is what I know is to be better, and this will help you to be more successful. But if we listen to our children and actually help them to understand what they want and get them what they think they want, the better they will do in making choices for their own self and, learning how to do this. And then the 3rd is just to support them. A lot of the times, they just need someone to be there for them, to say, that's a good choice. Say, give them some support, assistance, saying, hey, you're doing great. Keep making these choices, keep learning, keep developing, you're getting somewhere. And as they get that support, they'll learn to trust themselves and to be confident in their choices. So, let me give you an example here. As parents, we're always trying to get our students to do extracurricular activities, trying to figure out what they enjoy, what they like. So this is a common example. So you got all these extracurricular activities. So what would I suggest doing as a parent? Well, first of all, usually when parents get this, they immediately look at the list and they circle the things and they okay, these are the ones we're going to sign you up for. So that's something like forcing, right? That's something that we don't want to do. We want the student to learn how to make these choices. So we can give them this list, right? And say, which ones do you think you would enjoy? And so we could kind of circle the ones that they, look at. And then we can ask them, okay, so look at, okay, you're not going to have enough time for all of these. Which ones do you really like? And so we can go over, okay, this one I think you might like more, and then we just talk about it and listen to our student, what they say, what they want to do, right? And then we help them understand, okay, well, this extracurricular activities at this time, so you're not going to be able to go to both these 2 extracurricular activities. Which one would you want to do more? And then we let them choose. And when they choose something, we try and support them. Say, I think that's a great idea. That's a great thing to see. We'll really see if you like it when you go to it, you experience it. If you don't like it, we'll go to another one. And we'll try and figure this out, maybe what fits you best. And so that's kind of the way that we would want to. I know it takes a lot more time than saying, okay, you're going to do this, this, and this. That's kind of easy. You sign them up, you make sure you know where to go, you drop them off. But they don't get the experience of really learning from themselves and making the big choices. So some parents are like, this takes too much time. It could take weeks. This isn't just a 1-hour thing. With a student going through this, it could take days for them to kind of choose and think about it and make a choice for themselves. But that amount of effort is worth it because it's a lot easier than the alternative. And everyone maybe has seen a glimpse of this alternative with our students who are just our children who are angry about going somewhere, who will fight you on everything, who's mad at you, who blames you for, signing them up for these things, not doing what they want to do. And that's a lot more painful. Constantly having to make the choices for your children, even yourself thinking, am I making the right choice for them? But we don't have to feel responsible for everything that goes on in our child's life, right? We can focus more on loving, supporting them, and doing the things we know we can do to help them. And just watch them, how fast they grow. It's amazing to really watch. And so, in conclusion, you can see sometimes we think we don't know how smart our children are. They learn fast. They know what they want in life. They're really good at being able to figure things out and find out what they enjoy. And as they learn and grow at a young age and make choices, when it comes time for the big choices in their life, they're going to be ready. They're going to be confident because they've made so many of the other small choices along the way that when it comes down to the big ones, they'll know what it is. And they'll ask for help and they'll do different things. But I hope you learned something from this on how you can help your children to make big choices in their life. If you really liked it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to see more videos, look through our channel for some other videos. We have a lot of videos of different things. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.